I think when I was 16, all these challenges started. So I still remember the day when I was in my grade 11. I had one option. How do they consider challenges and the ups and downs and everything? So that's how it started. Just because women are told that you must not grow, you must not have needs, you must not have desires, it becomes the fact that women inhibit the other women's growth. Travel to my education, to my institution, I was targeted there because to them, a girl just exploring that like this is something weird.
All right, so today we have somebody very special with us to really celebrate the entire vision where we want to inspire from one woman to many, many more women. And keeping up the spirit alive, we have somebody very special with us. We have Abhinaya Lakshmi Shrikant, who's coming in from the space of empowering people by understanding their human behavior. That's something that completely comes out, in spite of the fact that she's not from a psychology or a counseling field, but it's coming out straight from something that she truly, truly enjoys. In the past, of course, she's also been able to author a book. She's also had her own venture whereby she's being able to empower people. And today we're going to hear out straight from Abhinay Lakshmi her areas where she's been able to make herself, her family proud, and thereby be able to inspire all of us here as well. So welcome so much, and thank you so much, Abhinay Lakshmi, for coming in. And we would love to hear that what got you started, because it was something very different that you started right from the beginning. It was microbiology, which was of keen interest to you. And today you are completely into something which is very different. So, what led to what?
Thank you so much, ma'am. It's an honor to share the stage with you. I think it's, from being a student to sharing the stage, immensely, I think my joy know new bounds. It's like I'm so happy to share the stage with you. So, to getting started with what led me here was the trauma and the troubles I had in my life, the challenges that I was made to go through. I think when I was 16, all these challenges started. So I still remember the day when I was in my grade 11. I had one option, either to choose my relatives or my career. They said, if you choose your career, we'll leave you. I'm just sure, I'm just patting up myself all day because I chose the decision that career is what I want and not the relatives. So, being brought up from a typical South Indian family, quitting like your relatives or leaving your relatives and prioritizing career is something very weird, as if you'll be considered as an alien. But still, I'm considered as an alien, but I was not focused on it. So I chose my career, and then at that moment, I wanted to know what these behavior traits are. Why are people so? Why are they stopping me with no intention when I did all good to them and no bad? When I did not expect anything in return. So this was just bugging in my mind all day, and I started studying on the human behaviors. It was exactly in 2017. I was 16 years. I started studying the human behavior traits and everything. So it's almost my year 8 of being a human behavior strategist, and then I started strategizing the behaviors on delving how do people understand each other, what are the aspects of life, how do they consider the challenges and the ups and downs and everything. So that's how it started.
Lovely. So good to hear. But you've been able to create different milestones for yourself as you've traveled, right? Interest in microbiology, authoring the book, thereby having, your own challenge of being a student, yet being able to get into an initiative of empowering people. And definitely hasn't been easy. I'm sure that you had your own share of self-doubt, inhibitions, where you were questioning your own ability a lot of times. Did that happen with you as well?
Yeah, Mamisha. I think I do need somewhere around 200 to 300 pages to write. How many times I have really asked myself how that whether I'm worthy enough, whether I'm capable. I think even yesterday I was just asking myself, yeah, am I just on the right path? Am I just doing something that is worthy enough? But still, there, yeah, I had most moments of self doubt because I had no one at my back to say that what I do is right. Since women must empower women, but Just because women are told that you must not grow, you must not have needs, you must not have desires, it becomes the fact that women inhibit the other women's growth. So women must definitely empower the other women. If that's the case, I'm sure no women or men will have self doubts ever in their lifetime.
So how do you, how do you motivate yourself, Abhinay Lakshmi? When you're in a situation of self-doubt, what are those practices that, you do to yourself? Is it a self-talk? Is it some spiritual mantra? What do you do?
It's absolutely self.
Hmm.
Before just starting my venture in 2023, I always tell this word to me: I'm my boss and I'm my employee.
Wow.
It's all about the self talk. This is my mantra that I follow. I'm my boss and I'm my employee. So it's purely self talk and not any spiritual mantra. But of course, I trust forces above us. But when that comes to, I don't say I cannot be successful without those forces, but still, then it's all about self talk.
So self-talk in the form of a lot of affirmation. So are we talking about writing it down, or are we only speaking to ourselves, which only our own selves will be able to hear?
I write, I speak, and at times I sing. And I'm passionate into dancing as well. So at times I dance when I truly feel overwhelmed with all the challenges, with all the ups and downs.
Hmm.
So affirmations in every form I prefer.
Lovely. So you've been writing that down. Is it like a specific time of the day that you practice so that you know that you have a set routine? Or is it like random that you're being able to practice this?
There have been times where I was sticking on a particular schedule.
Hmm.
I used to write in this time of the day, that time of the day, very particular time. But you know what? When I was overcoming all these challenges, I was led to give up the practice. I was even shouted for doing so because I'm a woman. I don't need that. So being a woman, I must be inclined to the kitchen. I must just get the chores done. And when I just travel to my education, to my institution, I was targeted there because to them, a girl just exploring that like this is something weird.
Yeah.
So even at those times, I was in a position to give up all the practices that I was doing, even my self-talk.
Mm-hmm.
At those times, whenever I just get time, I write them, be it affirmations or be it something that I want to write to myself every day, a reminder. So this is how it got started and it's going.
Lovely. So good to hear. So you're doing affirmations and writing a lot. And although it's, more not like a set routine, but you're still being able to bring that as a part of your own, timing. So do you have your own set of people around who inspire you, or is it always, self-directed and self-motivated?
I always say it's all because of a particular group of family and friends, and of course mentors,
Yeah.
without whom I'm just nothing. I'm just nothing today. Still, there have been times where your mentors may not be able to revert back to you. Even parents may not understand you, friends may not understand you. But I don't say they will never, but there have been times. So I, of course, have people around me to support me in this journey, who cheer me up like anything, who are my constant cheerleaders. But still, then I feel that there have been times where they are not able to revert back because of the challenges they are facing in life.
Okay, lovely. So, is there something that you'd like to, really speak to people who've always thought about starting something of their own? Now, you've started something of your own, right, in 2023. But there are so many of us, there are people who've been waiting for this opportunity to arrive in their life, Abhinay Lakshmi, but they're not able to do it. How do you think that, you did it, and, how we can actually send out this message to anybody else thereby as well in this room?
The first thing that was stopping me for years was the thought that I'm not perfect. I do not know anything. I'm not an expert. But I started practicing this one particular mantra that an expert in anything was once a beginner.
Hmm.
I still remember when I started out my brand, even just before following up with official procedures, it was just one page, one social media page, and that's it. So it was started out something like that. And from that to registering it as a company, I think it's a very long way for the company and for me as well.
Yeah.
because this one thought that I'm not an expert, I'm not perfect, I do not know anything, or maybe I'm not fluent in this particular language, I'm not fluent in that particular language, are some of the limitations that people have that is stopping them.
Not only some, I think many of them,
Yeah.
majority of the times, right? So what do you think they need to do?
It's all about overcoming them to understand what actually lies behind the myth.
Hmm.
So I usually call myself a myth buster to bust out such myths that are stopping people. So first thing all about as an expert in anything was once a beginner is actually the truth. But we are told that you are not an expert, so you must not start a venture.
Okay.
So even when I started my venture, people were like, "You do not know anything. How could people interview you? How could people call you for a talk?" And this was something that I've been constantly listening. I think this journey taught me the values that no matter whatever people tell about you, whatever talk about you, you can still overcome them.
So that I think, Abhinay Lakshmi, that really sends out a message that, while we are studying, while we have done something very different, but what we do now and what we create in the future, and if it's aligned with our values and with the passion that we have, it can all come together. And at that time, our inhibitions and fears can, completely start to drift away as well. So really interesting to hear that little snippet from you, and I'm sure that we would love to hear more and more from you in future as well. But for today, thank you so much, Abhinay Lakshmi, for sharing that insight and being able to inspire from one woman, as I say, to many, many more as well. Thank you so much for coming in, Abhinay Lakshmi.
Thank you so much, ma'am. You really made my day.
Thank you.